Good morning. Overthinking. Is there a cure? And what is the cause or causes? I'm interested in this particular theme because I've heard this come up a lot in my classes. I tend to overthink things. I sit on the sidelines and I wait and I don't act. Or maybe you've come up to a person in a cafe someplace and you wanted to speak to that person, but for some reason it just it just didn't happen. And don't feel bad about this, because this happens to a lot of us who get into a situation and we just aren't able or aren't willing to act. So overthinking, what is it? Where does it come from? Now, I'm not going to get into the deep psychology of it, except just to say that it appears to be a move away from strategy, moving away from mistakes and risk. Risk in English is a word, it just means loss. Okay, so overthinking as a strategy for life is basically just playing not to lose all the time. Okay, so you had a good day as an overthinker, okay, if you didn't lose anything or if you didn't make a mistake. That's a good day, right? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying if you're frustrated with it and you've had enough of overthinking, this might be for you, this video, okay? Now, in my opinion, this is only my opinion, what I'm noticing about overthinking is that it's a symptom of a lack of real-world experience. I'll say it again. Overthinking is a direct result of lacking real-world experience. Now, overthinkers quite often get into what I call a vicious cycle, or maybe a catch-22. Playing not to lose puts us on the sidelines of life and we're kind of watching things go by. We don't really want to get involved because we don't want to make a mistake. We don't want to lose anything. So we sit back, and as a result, we don't get what? Experience, right? Itchy ear, sorry. So as we're sitting back, trying not to make a mistake, trying not to lose, we hold back from life and we don't make mistakes. So we're successful according to our own strategy. We didn't make mistakes, didn't lose anything, but at the same time, we didn't get any real world experience. And without that real world experience, we become even more inclined to sit on the sidelines and wait and go, well, I don't know, I'm not sure what I want to do, and it becomes this looping vicious cycle where we don't get the experience and we become a little bit more scared, a little bit more hesitant as a result of not knowing what we're doing, and we sit back even more. So how do you get out of this vicious cycle? Now, one way that I really recommend is through playing games that approach real life, but don't actually reproduce the complexity of what life is. I don't think any game can actually do that, by the way. But that's one of the beauties of games, is that they reduce your interaction with the world down to a reasonably complex scenario. Okay, so it's not overly simplistic, but it's also not so complex that you can't even step in and do anything. One such game that I love to play with my son is Cash Flow by Robert Kiyosaki and his group there from Rich Dad. I first heard about it back in, 2009 maybe, as an electronic version. I've known about this since 1999, actually, long time. And for years, I was scared to play it. I was one of those overthinkers. Like, I don't know if I want to get in there. But I realized that recently there's been a digital version published, available through Android. And my son just said yesterday, hey, Dad, why don't we play Cash Flow again? I go, yeah, you're right. And what I noticed is my son, he's leaning more towards the overthinking side of life. Being very prudent, cautious, doesn't want to take risks. And that game is a tremendous way of learning about yourself and finding ways to seek a more balanced way of approaching money and life, instead of just sitting back and just sitting there watching other people play. Finally, my son realizes that Dad, I have to take risks. Yeah, because he realized he can't possibly win the game or get anywhere if he doesn't take risks, you see? So the game allows you to take risks without risking your life. It allows you to get in situations that kind of approximate life a little bit without putting you in this dangerous situation like, oh no, what if I make a mistake? What if I lose something? Then my life is over. So I highly recommend you try Cashflow, the electronic version. You can get it on Android for sure. You can play it online as well. If you're not sure how to play, go ahead and meet me in Stuffles in Batu here. I'll play you. I'll play Cashflow with you. I think it's an amazing game, not just to learn about money, which by the way is a big concern of overthinkers. Come on, you overthinkers. I mean, be honest, money is a big concern for you guys and girls, women. Yeah. So focus on the thing that you're terrified dealing with, money. Okay. If that's a source of issues for you or stress and anxiety, okay, get into a situation like playing a game where you're investing money, you're dealing with money, you're making decisions about money. Because what you're going to learn eventually is it's not really about money. Okay. It's about your attitude towards risk taking and your patterns that you've inherited to sit back and just watch life as an observer instead of be a player.